Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to our late afternoon update. I'm Victoria Holmes here in the digital studio. Starting October 2nd, large outdoor venues in North Carolina will be allowed to open at 7% capacity with key safety precautions in place. Governor Roy Cooper made the announcement this afternoon, so those locations can begin putting safety measures in place in order to operate. Large entertainment venues are those that can seat over 10,000 people. The governor also announced a $40 million small business relief program to offset fixed costs like rent, mortgage interest, and utility bills. The NC Mortgage Utility and Rent Relief is administered by the State Department of Commerce. It can provide up to $20,000 in relief funds per qualifying businesses. Applicants from certain industries unable to operate during the COVID period may apply for up to 2 of their locations. The Department of Commerce will begin accepting applications soon. State and public health officials will continue watching key COVID-19 trends over the next week to determine if any more restrictions can be eased. The state's current reopening phase 2.5 expires on October 2nd. The U.S. death toll from the coronavirus topped 200,000 today. The milestone, by far the highest national confirmed death toll from the virus in the world, was reported by Johns Hopkins University. To put this in perspective, the number of dead in the U.S. is equivalent to a 9/11 attack every day for 67 days. It is roughly equivalent to the population of Salt Lake City or Huntsville, Alabama. Deaths are still climbing at a rate of about 770 a day. Blacks, Hispanics, and American Indians have accounted for a disproportionate share of the deaths, underscoring the economic and healthcare disparities in the United States. A widely cited model from the University of Washington predicts the overall U.S. death toll will double to 400,000 by the end of this year as schools and colleges reopen and cold weather sets in. A vaccine is unlikely to become widely available until 2021. The Centers for Disease Control rolled out new guidance warning against door-to-door trick-or-treating this Halloween. The CDC says the public should avoid high-risk activities, including traditional trick-or-treating, crowded indoor costume parties, hay rides, or tractor rides with people outside your household. Experts also advise against traveling to a rural fall festival that is not in your community if you live in an area with community spread of COVID-19. Instead, the CDC is recommending other Halloween activities such as pumpkin carving and decorating pumpkins, or having a virtual Halloween costume contest. The Congressional Problem Solvers Caucus is a group of 25 Democrats and 25 Republicans. It's continuing to push for a compromise COVID stimulus package. The group unveiled its March to Common Ground framework last week. President Trump approves of some elements of the $1.5 trillion plan, but party leaders in Congress are not giving it their support. Our DC Bureau has more.
If we can get this done, the American people will be better off for it.
New York Congressman John Katko says the plan from the Problem Solvers Caucus will help Americans through a $1,200 direct payment and boosted unemployment benefits.
It gives you a premium of $600 above the unemployment insurance, but it caps it at what your income was before you were unemployed.
Katko and New York Congressman Anthony Brindisi say it's wrong to make the American people wait any longer for relief.
There are folks who are still out of work that need additional unemployment assistance. There are small businesses that are still hurting and need additional PPP loans.
So far, congressional leadership are rejecting the plan, but Brindisi says other lawmakers are ready for a deal.
I would be willing to bet if you put our plan on the floor tomorrow in the House and the Senate, it would pass with overwhelming bipartisan support.
The bipartisan group says despite rejection from party leaders, they're making progress and building the momentum needed to pass the next COVID relief package.
The number of members that have come up and joined us in this effort means a deal has to be done.
New York Congressman Tom Reed, co-chair of the Problem Solvers Caucus, says the White House has even signaled its support.
This is about what's needed for the American people. American people are still suffering.
Reed says lawmakers have 2 weeks to get a deal done. Reporting in Washington, I'm Morgan Wright.
President Trump and Democratic candidate Joe Biden will both visit North Carolina this week. Biden will appear in Charlotte tomorrow for the first time since his nomination. The president will hold a campaign event in Charlotte on Thursday. This comes as Republican Senator Tom Tillis and Democratic challenger Cal Cunningham participate in a debate tonight. As part of Tuesday's North Carolina Senate debate, we'll be tracking the reaction of undecided voters and showing you what they're responding to in real time. The second screen experience will be part of tonight's debate between Tillis and Cunningham. Our panel of 9 to 12 undecided voters will have an interactive dial in their hands that they can turn to a positive reaction if they agree, or a negative reaction if they disagree with a response to a topic. Our coverage begins tonight here on WNCT.com at 6:30 and continues until 9 o'clock. And WNCT is releasing 2 podcasts. The first one will air today at 4:30 p.m. And it's What the Politics, hosted by Emily Serverich and I. Today's topic is civil discussion and how American politics became so polarized. We're joined by Dr. Jonathan Morris, a political science professor at ECU. You can find us on Apple and Spotify or the WNCT Now app. Here's a preview.
The question is, can a society like ours maintain a true representative democracy in which the people have some say in such an era of polarization? Involvement at the local level is another way that our systems stay functional.
Thank you for tuning in for our late afternoon update. I'm Victoria Holmes here in the digital studio.